So Himanshu, let me introduce Himanshu again. Himanshu has done a master's in business management. He have been a driving force in tech industry in New Zealand. He operated a web agency in New Zealand and contributed to a successful agency called as Build Care, which is now operational in India. Also, Himanshu has been very tightly integrated part as well as partners of at Thumbstack, and he has great wisdom in project management. So his skill set more lies into project management, and himself being a techie, he would be walking us through those nitties and gritties of tech management. So now the stage is all yours, Himanshu. Go ahead.
Cool. Thank you so much. I would first like to just really quickly thank for this opportunity because you don't very often get such platforms to talk about and share sort of your thoughts on things. So I'll share my screen in a second. I quickly want to introduce what I'm going to talk about. I'll actually share my screen already. It doesn't matter. Cool. So what we are going to talk about today is artificial intelligence in project management, right? And we're going to especially take slight focus on predictive analytics. Now, I'll quickly walk you through what we are going to do today, because it's not just me talking about what AI can do for project management. I'm going to take you guys through a small journey of how project management has been in its traditional sense, tools of the past, we can call it, so tools that have already existed, then AI coming into the picture, AI capabilities, and then following down to the predictive analytics side of things. So like to start, project management in its traditional sense, we can say since the dawn of time, or since at least we have started working in teams, project managers have existed, and they've existed to do what? Manage. But while these project managers are here managing projects, they've been wrestling with two things, which is time and money. And by what I mean by that is project managers are trying to achieve budgets, hit deadlines, and that's their constant battle, that they either miss one, either miss both of them. And also modern day project management, these project managers are juggling multiple clients, multiple projects, multiple teams. So it's becoming more and more difficult. I'd like to take you guys through a fact, and which states nearly half of all the projects happening everywhere, different industries, everything, run late, and almost as many go over budget. So this makes us think if these project managers need more coffee or a magic wand, right? And in my opinion, I think it's more of the magic wand, because I'm sure they're having a lot of coffee already. So this fact tells us that there more than half the project managers are losing on both fronts, which is time and money. So it's interesting, and it's interesting to find out why is this happening, right? Why are project managers failing? So we can say unclear objectives, scope creeps, communication breakdowns, resource mismanagement, blah, blah, blah. We can go through so many different things that tend to state that this is why a project fails. But in my opinion, a seasoned project manager might have already seen these pitfalls in the past and knows their way to navigate around them. They'll plan, they'll strategize, even pull a few all-nighters if they have to. But still, the project goes off the rail. So it makes us think, right, that what is the real reason? So here's the crux of it. At the end of the day, a project manager is a human. No matter how skilled or how experienced you are, you cannot foresee everything. We miss the tiny details, the small prints, the unexpected curveballs. And also, as the saying goes, the devil's in the details. And sometimes, while managing projects, these tiny details can be devilishly tricky, and you just lose your handle on the finances and this and that. But since our existence, whenever there has been a problem, we've come up with solutions, right? So what was our first solution? We introduced tools to manage these projects. So project management tools came into existence. They've existed for a very long time. So what did these tools do? So they came along and they promised to be that magic wand that we were looking for. The magic that we needed to make these projects fall under budget, hit deadlines. And tools like, we can name a few, like Trello came along, Asana came along, and these were like the early smartphones. They were phones, but not so smart. What I mean by that is these tools were definitely cool. They were helpful. But the reason I'm saying they were not really smart is because what they did for us is merely replaced spreadsheets. Because obviously project managers were smart enough to use something to keep a track of things, make a list of tasks and charts to plan things out and all of that. So what these tools did for us is basically made those into features, into a more of a software like feel, and gave you those additional features where you can tick things off and assign things to people and manage things a bit more easily. So I'm not saying that they did not help. They helped, but they added incremental value. They did not add revolutionary value, which is what we were looking for, because projects were still failing. There are all these tools out there, but the fact of that 50% projects are running late and as many are going over budget hasn't changed. So what is the real magic that we might need, or what can we do? So not few years later, AI has existed for a long time, but a few years ago, entered AI. Just last year, this whole generative AI, large language models started coming into picture. Everybody was super excited with all these innovations like ChatGPT. They can talk to a chatbot, get questions answered, content written, mid-journey to create images, and I'm guessing 500,000 other AI-powered applications or existing applications that turned into added AI capabilities, right? Now, obviously, after AI came along, it was inevitable that AI would make a mark in project management. And finally, I would say, in my opinion, that we started seeing some light, some real value add that could come into AI, come into project management via AI. So some new tools emerged that were that with AI capabilities to help project management. Existing big project management tools started including AI capabilities, and it started feeling like that magic wand has arrived. So we can talk about a few examples. Like, for example, Monday.com is a very famous project management tool that started using AI to automate mundane tasks. ClickUp is a AI tool that is using ClickUp is a project management tool that is using AI to predict task completions. Now this gives us a hint of the predictive analytics that we'll be talking about next. Trello integrated AI to automate workflows, Asana to prioritize tasks, Rike to offer workload insights, again giving us a slight hint of predictive analytics. But what do we need out of this AI to solve the real problem that we have been talking about? The real problem, which is not having those 50% of the projects go over budget and everything. So the real magic wand could be, or possibly would be, predictive analytics. Now, I'll paint a picture for you guys. Imagine, as a project manager, you draw a straight line and then you plan to walk on it from start to the end. But as you're about to take your first step, that straight line turns into a tightrope, suspends high up in the air with gusty winds and wobbles coming all towards you. That for you is project management. It is all about constantly evolving, full of surprises, demanding adaptability, right? So how could something like predictive analytics help? Now, again, making it simple, imagine you're in that situation, standing up high in the air, and in this gusty winds, you have to walk through that tightrope. There is somebody, a trusty sidekick right there with you, who's whispering in your ear when the next gust of the wind is going to be, or when the upcoming wobble is going to come. And this is predictive analytics. This is what could help you walk that tightrope with a bit more confidence. So let's dig a slightly deeper into what exactly predictive analytics could do in project management. What would be the value add? Now, just to name a few points, it'll do a lot more than this, I'm sure. But just to name a few points, let's talk risk prediction. Project managers have always been doing risk assessment and analyzing what risks could come, and this is all coming from historical data and all of that. And then they make a risk mitigation plan, and then they start the project. But they're not prepared for what's happening. They're not analyzing the data within the project. predictive analytics can use historical data and also current projects data to predict a potential risk and tell the project manager at an earlier stage that this risk could arise and you need to take some preventive measures, which can be anything, allocating more resources and all of that. Deadline forecasting, a very big one, which a lot of project managers seem to think they make a plan and they know the start date is this and the end date is this, but that's never really the case, because even the smallest thing can happen, which is somebody can fall sick, right? So predictive analytics can highlight tasks or phases that are likely to miss their deadlines, because these smaller tasks and phases that miss deadlines by one or two days actually make the snowball effect at the end for you, right? So predictive analytics will give you those insights and help you plan better and reallocate your resources or adjust your timelines beforehand, rather than waiting till the end and saying, oh, cool, we've got one more month to go, which quite often happens. Another one is budget monitoring. It can keep a very close eye on small expenses every minute you're spending. And by when I say minute, it's because time is equal to money. How much ever time you're spending is the amount of money you're spending. So every minute you're spending is being calculated there, is being accounted for there, and the AI is looking out for you and ensuring there are no nasty financial blowouts at the end, because it can give you insights and tell you beforehand to plan things better. And even while the project is going, it can give you better insights to change things according to that. And a very important one could be efficiency analysis. That is very dependent on humans at the moment. And again, as we are still humans, as I said, we are not going to know everything. So over time, AI can learn from your project's progress, understanding the nuances of the team dynamics, for example, how much time a task is taking from going from one team member to another, like even the smaller things, the resource allocation, any external factors, and will make suggestions to improve efficiency, ensure smoother project executions. So these are few things that predictive analytics could do for us in project management. Now, there's a quote that I like to think I've written, but there's a lot of times I think I've written something, but it's just in my subconscious. I read it somewhere. So that's why I'm not quoting it to somebody or even myself. But predictive analytics is like a magical crystal ball, enabling project managers to foresee risks, optimize resources, and steer the projects to success. Because what happens very often is, as I said previously, and I want to reiterate on that you make a plan and you think that once you've planned it, you just got to follow the plan, but that's not it. It's all about the adaptability. It's all about the changes that are going to come towards you. And just to close things off, I would like to say the future of project management with AI and especially predictive analytics could end up being the dynamic duo that we need, and could actually end up being that magic wand that we've always needed as project managers and as people who are executing projects towards success, to help us be our strategy partners and drive us to that success. And by that, I would like to say I was a very long talk, and I've started feeling thirsty now. But any questions that can come my way, I'm more than happy to take them now.
Great talk, Himanshu. Was quite crisp and quite fast, I should say. So to the audience, guys, do you have any questions? Please do comment down. So I think Itika has a question. I'll read out the question for you, Himanshu. How reliable is predictive analytics? Can we solely depend on it for a project management decision? Very, very interesting question. Himanshu, you want to take it off?
Yes, absolutely. So actually, it is a very, very interesting question. I love it. So yes and no, but I'd like to answer the question a bit more properly. Predictive analytics will very likely be based on data. And past data would be the real data it will be using. So past data, historical data, patterns. So it is going to be a very powerful tool. It will provide a lot of valuable insights as well, but it is very essential, and it always will be very essential to use that in conjunction with human judgment, because it's going to be a guide, not a gospel. So we need to be sure that we know that we are not treating whatever predictive analytics tells us as the Bible. It's more about us using our insights along with the data that we are getting from AI and make a decision based on that. So I hope that answers the question. I think there's
All
another.
right, we have another question, Himanshu. This question is: with the rise of AI in project management, do you think the role of human project managers will diminish?
Oof.
So,
Okay, I like to answer this question by saying the simple answer is no. And I'd like to answer just not in the sense of a project manager, but AI is not really going to replace humans. And if people think that, that's very wrong, in my very honest opinion. And in terms of project management, if we talk about will it replace the role of human project managers? No, it cannot, because AI is going to be a tool. It's an assistant. The name, all these names, also all the apps that are coming out, AI assistant, and the word tells us that it's an assistant. It's going to give us data. It's going to make our computation faster. It's going to look at small details that we used to miss as humans and help us make informed decisions. But it's never going to replace what a human can do. The strategic decision making that comes from a human's brain, building relationships, understanding the team dynamics, and all of that is always going to remain irreplaceable. And that applies not just to project management, to any field where obviously if there's a person sitting in front of a computer doing a task which can be done by AI now, yes, that job will get replaced, but it does not replace human beings or what humans add. Because there's another anecdotally, when this whole chat GPT thing was happening and I was still running the agency in New Zealand, the people who were talking to me saying, oh, we don't need content writers anymore, right? Because chat GPT is going to write the content now. And my only answer to that used to be that, yes, it will write the content, but the content writer is not there for writing the content. They're there for curating the content, to tell you if the content is correct or not, if it does what it needs to do or not. Because writing content, there were generative apps in the past as well that wrote content, maybe not AI driven, but still they were using some data and algorithms to write content for you. So the content writing part wasn't going to replace content writers. So that's my take on replacing humans, and to answer that question precisely.
yeah. We'll take up one more question, Himanshu. How good is predictive analysis today? Asked by Parth.
Okay, thanks for that question, Path. So predictive analytics today is, I think, I would like to, in my opinion, I would like to say it's slightly over the early stages, because apps have already started using it. Apps have already started integrating those aspects. Like even in my examples, if you can see, Rike has done an integration where it is providing you workload insights. So that is a predictive analytics, like a hint of predictive analytics. Asana has introduced it for prioritizing of tasks based on deadlines and how much time a similar task took in the past and things like that. So those are hints of predictive analytics. The things that we talked about today and the benefits that I was trying to show today, we are not there yet. There are other apps like Tableau, and I think there's one called Alteryx as well. These guys are already, because these are data sort of analyzing tools already, and they're using AI to feed data from project management tools and spin out those things that we need on the other end for predictive analytics and those insights. So it is above the early stages. We are still in the development phases. We still cannot say that we have achieved what I was just saying. What I was saying is, as I said, could be or would be the magic wand, and which most likely it will be by the pace at what we have seen ChatGPT has done, or not ChatGPT, but GPT actually, the algorithms, the pace they've grown, or where they've got to from even the earlier models. It's bound to happen, but currently we're in slightly above the early stages.
All right. I think we are. There is one more question. Do you want to take it?
Sure, why not? If you have the
Okay.
time, I have the answer.
So we have like 2 minutes. Let's take on this question. How do traditional project management tools differ from the AI powered ones in terms of efficiency? So efficiency is the question here.
Okay, so as I said, I mean, it's a huge difference from traditional project management tools to these AI powered tools, because the traditional project management tools, as I said, even while my presentation, that they've given us an incremental value, not a revolutionary value. Adding AI to these tools has given us a hint of that revolution, because it's giving us insights. It's giving us some strategic sort of points or decisions or whatever we want to call it. It's not just helping us do what we were doing in spreadsheets before. So that's how we can say it's different from traditional project management tools as compared to the ones that have AI in it.
All right. So I think great, Himanshu. It was great session. I feel I'm sure everybody might have got a bit of glimpse of what all things can we do in project management, and how AI is bringing the change in the project management. And definitely, the project managers are not going to get replaced by AI, but the project managers who are not using AI are definitely going to be replaced. Now, quote me on that.
That's the way to put it.